Welcome back, Stomp Wrestling fam. Boy, we got another one for you guys today. So, as you guys know, it's empty cage, filtered, unfiltered, whatever persona I feel like using best. And today, eh, I'll go filtered, but I might just tweak it up a bit. And I also got Mr. No Days Off, the editor himself, Wrestle Drop, and today's special guest is none other than the one, the only CPW's finest, Mr. Loudmouth.
Woot
So,
woot.
so, ladies and gentlemen, earlier today we asked you guys the question of should William Regal become the head of AEW Creative? And the reason why we asked you this is because of the whole backstage drama, some questionable booking decisions that they've made, also talent being unhappy with their booking so far. So let's discuss, fellas. Let's discuss. Do you think William Regal would be a good fit to be the head of AEW Creative? Let's start with Wrestle Drop. What do you think about that?
I think he'd be perfect. I think Tony Khan has got too much on his plate. I mean, he owns Fulham Football Club. He owns the Jaguars. He owns so many things. The guy's got no time, and here he's booking a wrestling show that probably makes him the least amount of money out of all his business ventures. So, I think he's got to do some delegation, give some people some jobs. I know he's done that recently, but creative is still all him. And Regal, we know he's done it before. I mean, we all loved NXT, so I think he'd be perfect.
Interesting. Mr. Loudmouth, our special guest today, what do you have to say? Do you think William Regal is the best option to be head of creative for AEW?
If William Regal becomes the head of creative, there is a certain problem that Tony Khan has, because Tony Khan has surrounded himself with yes men. So when Tony's in creative, hey guys, let's do this, they don't give Tony kickback to say, no, it's not. The problem with, if you put William Regal in charge of AEW, what happens to guys like QT Marshall? What happens to Jericho? What happens to those guys? Those guys are going to have to fall in line. And those guys are AEW originals, and they've pretty much been running the asylum. Does William Regal say to Tony Khan, give me the reins and I'll sort the ship out? Or does Tony Khan say to the guys, listen guys, you can all have input, but William Regal has final say? Because it's very important. Yes, William Regal needs to run it, but William Regal needs to run it in a structured manner. And I don't think at the moment there are too many guys that are able to give up their position that they've positioned themselves around Tony Khan with, to say, okay, William Regal will have an immediate impact. It's going to take a few months to sort out some of the guys' attitudes, especially when it comes to the inner circle. And that's going to take some time. And does Tony allow the time, or is this just a knee-jerk reaction to some bad press and Tony wants to look like the good guy? Because that's what Tony's been doing. He's looking like the good guy.
Well, you bring up some interesting points there. You brought up some interesting points. It might upset a few of Tony Khan's yes men, as well as the public may think Tony's trying to be the good guy, but we all know how that's working so far this year, because AEW, let's be real, in 2022, it's been an entire mess. From the booking to the talent being unhappy to everything. But yeah, also there's another question I pose to you. If, say, William Regal does become head of creative, would there be some sort of bias towards the Blackpool Combat Club?
I think they'd be biased to different people, not just the BCC. I think they'd be biased to people like Garcia, people like Jericho, longtime friends with Jericho. I think there's a lot of names that would benefit or be biased towards, but at the same time, I think he's a professional. So I think he'd do it in the right way. He wouldn't put favoritism here, put favoritism there. I'm sure he would in certain occasions, but I feel like he'd overall be quite quite fair, and try book the best show possible rather than just book his favorites.
True. That's very true.
You must remember that William Regal comes from a very old school type of mentality. He was wrestling on the Blackpool circuit since the age of 15, 16. And he's been around guys like Johnny Saint and Billy Robinson and things like that. Those guys don't take any crap. They're firm but fair. Now, with Mox beating Punk in 2 minutes and 59 seconds, Wheeler Yuta is the pure champion. Claudio is the ROH champion. The BCC is already being favored because of the heavy hitters that they have in the team. The only one out of that entire team that doesn't have a championship is Danielson.
Which is a crime, but anyway.
So you can already say they're being favorited. The great thing about William Regal is William Regal's ability to spot hidden talent and to accentuate the fact that these people are talented and they haven't had a chance. Sure. And you saw that in NXT. You saw the type of matches he could pull out of guys, young guys like Velveteen Dream. Patrick Clark was only 22 when he was in the system, and it was Regal who said, "Hey guys, listen here, let's put him up against Ricochet. Let's see what he can do." So he's a great spotter at hidden talent, and what AEW is suffering from now is what I like to call WCW syndrome, where they're very heavy at the top of the card, and there's some talented mid-carders that they're missing out on because the top of the program is so heavy. And they've got some great mid talent that is not doing anything now. And William Regal is a great proponent of that skill of man management or woman management, if you want to include the ladies. Because damn, if ever there was a division that needed to kick up its ass, it's that one.
Ooh, and he could definitely help that. He could definitely. I mean, if you think about NXT's women's division while he was there, it was always on top. It was always good. Even though there might have been a limited number of talent, he
still made it work.
Found a way to make it work.
Exactly. And I think the people that would benefit from William Regal's head of control would be Serena Deeb, would be Jamie Hayter. Who else? Jay Cargill, but she would be elevated to a much higher level than what she is currently. Athena, yes, I can definitely see it. Because we all know what she did back in the day.
Exactly.
So
Ruby Soho, a lot of names that are wasted.
And I'm not saying not everybody's gonna win a championship. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying try and elevate the talent to a point where the fans can connect with them and a way that can make them happy. Because that's what we want. That's what all us wrestling fans want to see. Talent being pushed to their fullest potential. We really want to see that.
Yeah. And think of all the guys in AEW that worked on NXT. There's a good 12 to 15 guys and ladies that worked on Black and Gold that are now with AEW. William Regal already knows what they can do. It's just a matter of putting it into a situation where it makes sense. And if you can get past Tony's yes men, will you be able to do
it? William Regal can take those two chumps. So yeah.
Probably could. I'd give it to him. Yeah. If they had to do like a wrestling spot, a shoot wrestling spot, I'd give it to Regal even at his age over those two small scrawny men. But anyway, I digress.
I can see Jericho being on I can see Chris Jericho being on William Regal's side, even though because we've seen how piss poor of wrestling he's been putting out this year, and also his character work. So yeah, William Regal could even say, "Yo, Jericho, this is not working out. I'm gonna need you to do A, B, and C," and That's what I'm thinking.
And you know what's another thing? He will be respected by the wrestlers. Because I think Tony Khan's opinion is, I'm pretty sure there's people there like, what's this guy talking about? I'm almost sure that there's wrestlers who don't respect what he say. And that way they manipulate him into their own storylines or their own opinions. Whereas Regal, I can guarantee you they'll respect him.
Yeah,
or they should.
Because at the end of the day, Tony Khan is a big kid with a piggy bank. That's what he is. I hesitate to use the word mark. I don't like that word. But Tony Khan is a wrestling mark. He's a wrestling mark. And the Khanis, in the old days, the Khanis would have seen this guy a mile off, and marked him for they would have put chalk dust all over him. You know the term mark came about, eh?
How did it come about?
All right. Basically, back when wrestling was in the carnivals, the busker or the hailer would call out to people and get them into the wrestling shows and test your might against the strong guys and everything like this. And invariably, there would be a guy walking in that's impressed, that's dressed nicely and everything like that. The busker would then put dust in his hands, and he would put his hand on the guy's back. Step right up, sir. Come and see our attractions. And give him a little nudge and put his handprint on the guy's jacket and mark him so that the rest of the carnies know that this guy is an easy cash cow. And wherever he goes, the carnies would see the handprint on the back of the jacket and know they can then screw this guy over and he'll just keep on pumping money into the carnival.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting fact there. Interesting fact.
Now you know about how they came up with marks.
Oh yeah.
Like
now we do.
So
we're gonna definitely clip that on our TikTok.
Oh, for sure.
We had to clip that.
For sure. I was already thinking that as well. Instead of AW, should Regal take on ROH? Because arguably that's a better fit for his style.
I can see it. If say AW may not be interested, it would definitely work out, in my opinion.
I think it suits his style better, to be honest. The style of ROH. I don't think there's anybody else out there who would suit ROH better.
Especially with the limited talent that's there. Like
he could find
he can make a lot of
actually go there.
He can make a lot of improvements that side.
Exactly.
I think ROH has more potential for William Regal than AEW does. Purely because of one person that is there with William Regal, and that's Daniel Bryan Danielson. Because he was a part of ROH for so long that he became part of the system, training, ring crew and all of that stuff. He was part of the system. And yes, the business has evolved since Daniel Bryan freaking nearly killed Nigel McGuinness in Liverpool all those years ago, where they just bled all over the place. But because Daniel Bryan still knows the system, he can then mold William Regal in the direction of what the spirit of ROH was. Because ROH had a different spirit than Impact or WWE or any of the other promotions or WCW that was happening at that time. ROH was kind of this separate microcosm of talent and of wrestling that was very unique. And I think William Regal, with Bryan Danielson's help, will actually do better for the entire product. It'll help elevate ROH to a point where it will then start influencing how AEW works. And you don't want AEW to change tack suddenly. You want it to be a gradual thing, but you want change to happen. And I think if William Regal takes on ROH first, then you can do it. The caveat there is you can have it the other way. You can have two guys go into ROH, because who is their other champion in ROH?
So it's
Claudio
Claudio
and
Mojo,
Smojo.
Claudio. Yeah.
And Samoa Joe
There's also Ring of
spent
Honor royalty.
more in Impact, but in ROH as well. And he knows the system very well.
I agree. I think it could work well either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So I think that's us for this video.
So let us know in the comments. Do you want William Regal to take control of AEW or Ring of Honor? And if you did enjoy this video, stomp that like button, stomp that subscribe button, stomp that bell icon. Be notified when your favorite Stomp Wrestling Boys, alongside Loudmouth here, will appear on your screen. Also, give Loudmouth a follow, guys. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing if you're not following this man's? Literally. But thank you guys for watching the video. You guys have just been too sweet.